Hello and welcome to this edition of Wake Up and Live with the Arts. I'm Sue Johnson and we are here this edition of Wake Up and Live with the Arts to talk about all things Karamu. You've joined in at a wonderful time in our history, the 100th year of continuous operation of Karamu, and all kinds of special celebrations and activities are going to be going on for the rest of 2015 and 16. And to begin to tell us about it all is, of course, our own inimitable Interim Executive Director, Pat Egan.
Thank you.
Yes, and you've got your hands full, lady.
I do. As someone said, I'm spinning plates. I'm spinning plates.
How many are up? 2, 3, 12?
Many. I've got one in my mouth, a couple in my Just keep on rolling. Keep on rolling.
Yeah, you're in a fascinating time in history because now you are an integral part of the celebration. You are the chair of the celebration activities that weekend. Is that correct?
Well, actually, we have 4 co-chairs.
Oh, okay.
I'm managing the event with my staff, but we have 4 co-chairs.
Okay, tell us who they are.
Bracy Lewis.
I know Bracy.
Paul Clark.
Don't know him.
He's the regional president of PNC.
Oh, okay.
Michael Taylor
PNC is a sponsor.
is one of our major sponsors, and
Yes.
we are very grateful. They have made a tremendous commitment to Fairfax.
The whole
Community with their
yes.
Fairfax connection, and they're very present,
Yes.
and that's wonderful. And they agreed this year to be our title sponsor, so
Hot dog.
I'm thrilled about that. So Paul Clark is going to be, is not just going to be, is one of our co-chairs. Michael Taylor, who is also a vice president at PNC,
Okay.
and Armand Budish,
I
our
know his
new
name.
county executive.
Is that who he is now?
That's who he is.
All I know is he's been around for 115 years.
Well, he'll be real glad to hear that.
Well, he's been a well-known attorney.
And he was, he was Speaker of the House, I believe,
At some point, yeah.
and for the state.
So he's been around, like I say, for 100 years.
He
doing
has,
good work.
just like us, just like Karamu. I'm
What a
sure you
segue.
didn't know what it's a
What
great
a
segue.
segue.
Yes.
So Karamu is in 2015, and today is May 19th, and we are talking about June 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, somewhere around. That's a heck of a weekend.
We
coming
are
up.
having an amazing, and actually, all of our stuff starts in May, and I'm not going to steal Terrence's thunder to talk about the Whiz, but the Whiz.
But we are going to talk about the Whiz.
But we are
later.
going to talk about that. But the Whiz launches a week from this Friday.
May 29th.
Yes. We have a couple preview nights, and get your tickets now because the shows are selling out. We are
course,
just thrilled. We
yes.
have more groups than we've ever had, and so I'm really, really excited. I was just downstairs meeting the cast.
Okay.
And that's always really fun. I love doing that. Huge cast, about 50 people.
I understand.
Yep. And, the whole story is just a wonderful story and a fun story. So I'm looking forward to
courage.
that. Yes.
My particular thing is courage. And that, or the which where I'm going, I'm melting! That's my contribution.
I know. I'm just all about the shoes. Ruby red slippers have got to, they've got to be that's wonderful. So that kind of kicks off what's happening.
And it's going to be part of the weekend,
It's going to be part of the weekend, so that kicks off next week after Memorial Day. Then June 1 is the beginning of our summer camp. So we're going to have about 100 kids on our campus, and it's a real hands-on youth. We're calling it, we're trying to get away from that summer camp thing. We're calling it Youth Arts Program.
Sounds good.
Because they're going to be doing auditions, they're going to be doing rehearsals, they're going to be doing staging, they're going to be doing stage design, they're going to be making their own costumes, and they're going to be doing a whole
total immersion in the arts.
Into the arts. And at the end, in August, when the 10 weeks are over, they are going to be on stage, even the little ones, doing Beauty and the Beast.
That should be so wonderful.
Last year they did Seussical the Musical, and honestly, you just sit there and smile the whole time.
Okay.
And the little ones are so cute, and the bigger ones, we're starting to get real comfortable on stage and finding themselves. So, and this year, we are collaborating with Newbridge
Okay, I don't know Newbridge.
Newbridge is one of the jewels of the city, and they deal with teenagers.
Okay.
And they teach them graphic arts, photography, videography, and graphic design. I said that already. Ceramics. And then they have 2 medical programs. They do phlebotomy and I think pharmacy tech.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
they teach adults and kids, but the teenagers, it's really cool because they're learning skills that
Yes.
will find them a job.
That is wonderful.
And
Yeah.
so now that we're collaborating with them, we've actually hired one of their students
Okay.
to do some graphic arts for us for our,
Is this part of the centennial things? that
it's
will be
part
going on?
of, this is part of the summer camp.
Oh, summer camp, okay.
So they're going to be doing some summer camp. We're going to be taking kids to Newbridge, which is just down the street, and they're going to be immersed with peer-to-peer instruction. First time, so we're really excited
So
about
this is a
that.
whole new initiative in this particular constellation,
Yes.
installation, incarnation.
Incarnation,
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, for people,
yes.
for parents and community
it's
folks.
not too late.
How can they find out more and/or
They
get their
can sign
folks
up on the
involved?
website.
www.karamuhouse.org.
Right, you just
Okay, and
go
we'll run
to-
that on the screen too.
You just go to daycare summer camp, pull down screen, they can pay and everything right online. Very, very easy.
Easy, yes.
Very user friendly. Or they can come into the office and sign up. And right now we have room for a few more kids, but we're
Okay.
filling up, so it's
Sure.
not too late to register. So if you're starting to panic about what am I going to do with my kids this summer, we've got the answer.
Okay, and speaking of the business office, be sure to call in to 216-795-7070. Which extension is best for the office?
222, that's the easiest
Sarah-
one to remember.
yes,
That's Sarah's.
Unkerfer.
222 is easy.
So if, for folks who are not on the internet, for folks who want to walk in, for folks who want to call, that is 216-795-7070, extension 222, and you'll reach Sarah Unkerfer in particular, and she'll help you out with all of your registration and information needs.
And answer any questions that you may have. So
Sure.
we're very excited. They do field trips. It's really a cool thing for the summertime. And then we start our 100-year celebration.
Yes.
And that's starting on Friday night. We are having a private VIP reception here at Karamu. It is going to include the sponsors
Yes.
of our centennial event, which is on Saturday, June 13th. And our awardees will be present, our co-chairs will be present. We've invited some alums, and we have some surprises for our alums.
Okay, and I believe we at the Karamu Alumni Association will be there too, won't we?
You can.
Okay, that's what I
We're
thought.
happy to sell you tickets.
I know.
At a reduced rate,
At a
yes.
reduced rate, yes.
And Sides to Go, which is a new enterprise by Ben Hobart, one of our
Oh,
Karamu.
he used to be a great radio DJ
He used to be a TV
host.
guy. He used to be a
Yeah.
TV guy, but his
And
son
radio host, yeah.
is actually in
The Wiz?
The Wiz.
Okay.
He just stopped by my office and said hello. And he's going off to college next year, but he was in a lot of the youth productions.
Yes.
So he just started a new business called Sides to Go, and they're going to be providing the food for the evening,
Hot
for
dog,
the
yeah.
VIP. No hot dogs, but
Little
I
pigs
think
in a blanket?
actually pulled pork and barbecue and just all kinds of wonderful, wonderful things.
Okay.
So that's going to be Friday night. Saturday is our big reception.
Gala.
The gala.
Yes.
Yes. And it is going to be at the Cleveland Museum of Art in the atrium.
Yes,
And it is going to be a party.
I know it
A
is.
big party. We hope to have between 300 and 400 people there.
Yes.
We have, there will be a social hour. Starts at 7.
Okay.
And then right after the social hour, we're going to have a wonderful dinner. And where you have 4 awards, and only 4 awards. And we really thought about that at our 100 years, who's really had impact throughout our history.
Lasting impact.
Lasting
Yes.
impact. And so we're giving it to Reuben, unfortunately posthumously, and Dorothy Silver, who
They have
are still legends in
They
this
have
town.
always been my Hume Cronin and Jessica Tandy of Cleveland.
Yes,
you
and
know.
they and Mrs. Silver is just so gracious.
Yes.
You know, she's just a wonderful, and people have wonderful memories about the
Hey,
impact
Dorothy,
she made.
in case you're watching, she's been a little under the weather.
Yeah, she has, but she's going to rally. She told me she's going to rally
and
for
she
this.
will be there with her red, ruby, or silver
Slippers
on.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. And then we also are doing the Jelliffs, who are the founders.
Russell and Rowena Jelliff.
Correct. And their son, Roger,
Is coming.
coming, and he has wonderful stories about how he grew up at Karamu.
I do too, because I knew Rowena better than I did Russell, and I was a kid. I wasn't in the theater as such. I was trailing my girlfriend who was in the dance here.
Ah.
So I was running around, and Rowena was still, very, very active. And that was in the days, which I'm proud to say I didn't know what I was doing, before Ron O'Neill became Ron O'Neill, before Minnie Gentry became Minnie Gentry, and Nate Barnett, and just so many others.
Amazing people. Well, I heard the most amazing story. We had a man who was 89 years old drop. We have people just intermittently drop into our office.
Of course.
And
yes.
he's 89, and he just wanted to walk around and kind of touch the walls. Reminisce. So he came into the business office, and he was telling stories about his youth and Karamu.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a story about Rowena that it really touched me because she was far more gracious than I would have been. So here was this little kid throwing rocks at the building.
Okay.
And she went out and she grabbed him by the hand and she said, I have something better for you to do. And she brought him inside and started to introduce him to the arts.
Okay.
And he said it changed his life.
Wow.
I mean, now what would you do if some kid was throwing?
Throwing
I know what
rocks.
I would do. I would be out there, being my usual.
Yeah.
But she had such a kind and gracious way.
She sure did. She was a gentle spirit. Yes.
And she knew how to deal with children. And I thought that was such a great story, and what a telling story about what a person she was.
Yes.
So
indeed.
I love that story about her. The next one is Mr. George Forbes.
George L. Forbes, the ubiquitous former Cleveland Council president.
Yes, and we're honored to have him as one of our impact recipients. He is a behind-the-scenes kind of guy.
Right.
He has helped me on more occasions than I can tell you, and his most recent helping was securing $1 million plus grant to renovate our theater.
We're going to talk about
and we're going to talk about that
in just a minute. Let's finish up with it.
So he's done that, but I see his face in the audience frequently, and he calls me on the phone intermittently, and he also connected us with the West Coast Black Theater Troupe down in Sarasota, where we went, and they're a wonderful
You took a field
performance.
trip down there,
We
didn't
did,
you?
and
Yes.
it was an amazing experience, and we picked up some really good tips. But
Yes.
that was based on his suggestion. And the last one, but certainly not least, is our most famous, and that's James Pickens Jr., who is going to be our international legend.
In
Impact
case
Award.
you don't know it, that's Gray's Anatomy. He's the doctor who heads
Dr.
up
Webb.
the hospital. And of course, a Karamu alum from Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes, so we'll be honoring them. And then Kyle Primus. I almost, it's like if somebody asked me my phone number right
Yes.
now, I'd have to think about it. Is providing we're calling it the after party, and he's going to rock.
Okay.
He's going to rock the house till midnight.
And he's a heck of a rocker.
He
Yeah.
is. And then we've got some surprises in between. We have a lot of entertainment in between that's really going to be, it's going to be moving and happy and just
And
a
making
very
Karamu
memorable.
even more alive with the celebration. And our editor, I'm pretty sure Lester, has put up on the screen while we're talking the insert that's going into the Cleveland Magazine, which is a whole magazine insert about Karamu, its 100 years, and the impact awardees, Russell and Rowena Jelliff, Reuben and Dorothy Silver, George L. Forbes, and James Pickens. So be sure to take a look at that and get the June edition
It'll drop next week.
of the Cleveland Magazine, so you can find out all about what's going on, at Karamu. We also have I'm pretty sure we had the hot cards up so that people can see about the Centennial.
Right, the Centennial.
And where you can order tickets and how you can make contact. Again, you can always go to www.karamuhouse.org and certainly call Karamu at 216-7070 extension 222.
79570.
What did I say?
You forgot the three
It doesn't-
digits in the middle.
Thank you for listening.
216-795-7070.
Okay, so that celebration is whoosh.
And it's not too late to buy tickets.
No.
Invitations are dropping even as we speak. Yes,
that,
and it's
yeah.
going to be beautiful.
Are we dressing formally, cocktail, after 5, jazz,
Any way
hippie?
you want, any way you want. We're celebrating 100 years. If you want to come as a flapper, you can. You know,
okay.
so that's up to you.
Well, let's see, did they have horse and buggies back then in 19? Yeah, they still had some horse and buggies, so you can ride by horse and
You
buggy.
could come by
yeah.
carriage. There's a thought.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a fabulous night. And then on Monday, again, is our project One Voice. And I'm not going to go into that because you've got guests talking about that.
We have very special guests. We will have Mariama White and Nina Domingue coming up in our next segment. And they are honchoed by the inimitable Dale Ricardo Shields.
Oh, yes.
So we'll be talking to them in a moment because that's part of the big weekend.
It's part of the big weekend, and we are thrilled. We're just thrilled. Not many organizations reach 100 years.
And in succession,
Yes.
continuously.
And,
Yes.
you know, in the past couple years, you know, we've had the Cleveland Foundation, and the Column Post is going to be celebrating 100 years.
Yes.
And there's
Cleveland
other
Playhouse
House.
has been around 100 years.
But where
Yeah.
can you go that so many nonprofits have reached 100 years?
have
And that's a
managed to keep
testimonial to the community that helps support and keep them alive. So it's a tribute to everyone. And Karamu is a national treasure. It is an
speaking
absolute
of
national treasure.
I'm going to take a little liberty here because part of the celebration, we're putting out a call to Karamu alums all over the world. So if you see this, we would love to have you contact Peter Lawson Jones at gmail.com or even wakeup4664@aol.com. We're trying to reach and locate you so that we can include you in a book, so that you might want to send a video message, or in any event, you might be interested in becoming active with our Karamu Alumni Association. So please email us, tell us your name, address, zip code, phone number, email address, and we'll make arrangements to get in touch with you because this was also part of your desire.
Well, we're
to
doing
have
100 stories for
Yeah.
100 years.
Okay.
And we are going to be featuring people. Once we get the stories, we're sifting through them now, and I have a couple people working on them. We're going to publish a book with the 100 stories, and we're also going to video people and randomly show them throughout the year, and it'll be kind of fun so people can keep coming to our website, which also has a tab. A funny story, somebody said to me, I can't find anything about your 100th anniversary. And I thought, well, that's really odd. So I called up the website, and I said, well, where were you looking? And she said, well, I looked here. And I said, well, did you try the 100th anniversary tab? And she said, that's the only one I didn't try. So if you want information about our 100-year anniversary, you might want to try that tab.
You got it. And what she's referring to again is www.karamuhouse.org, and hit all the tabs.
Yes.
Find out about all the programs, special events, because Karamu is in the process of becoming revitalized, re-energized. And I hate to go back to the old days, but reclaiming some of the former glory, if you will, that in the past Karamu was known for. And you, since your tenure, have helped get Karamu back to where it is a name to be reckoned with.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. Well, I keep saying we keep on looking backwards to go forward.
Exactly.
And
it's time
you know,
to
we
go
need
forward.
to grab some of that history, and needs change over time, but you know, we can still adapt to the needs of the community right now. So we're very excited about that. And I was going to mention something else.
Well, we're going to draw to a close, but your parting words as interim executive director who has brought a lot of vibrancy, exuberancy to this role, which can't be easy because those of us who are around know how much stuff you have to deal with in the background. But you keep Karamu on the forward move. So if in terms of closing out for right now, what wonderful interim executive words of wisdom, insight, fun, joy, happiness would you tell our audience?
No pressure there. Join us.
Okay.
Join us, whether it's coming to one of our productions, whether it's joining the alumni group, whether it's volunteering, whether it's bringing your kids. Join us. We for a while didn't have our welcome mat out. We now have our welcome mat out, and we're welcoming all of our alums. And I've talked to people who have been our third generation in the summer camp. You know, the grandma came and watched the grandson last year in Seussical. So I hear those wonderful stories. Come on in. We want to welcome you back. We want to be relevant in this community, and we want to be able to share the wonderful things that go on here with the community as well. So join us.
And join us whether you are associated or were affiliated with Karamu as an actor, a dancer, a singer, a musician, a tech person, a production person, a staff member, a board member, whatever your affiliation has been since 1915 with Karamu, we're seeking you out. We're trying to find all of our alums across the world because we want to involve you in what's going on, and just to simply let you know how much progress, how many beautiful, wonderful things are going on at Karamu, House of Joy. House of
Joyful
Joy.
Gathering.
Joyful Gathering.
Joyful
That's
Gathering.
It. I knew we'd get it. And with that, thank you, Pat. I know how busy you are. So stay tuned. We have more guests coming up, and you'll want to meet them and see what they've got to contribute to the celebration and the 100th year anniversary. See you in a minute.